The Cardinals were a team that I took a World Series flyer on after the Arenado trade. Now, that was a time in the offseason where Marcell Ozuna was still unsigned. It looked like he could come back to the Cardinals. There were still other free agents out there that it looked like they could have added. They didn't really make any improvements after that. They re-signed Molina, Adam Wainwright, but nothing that really moves the needle. If anything, I'm looking to take an under on the Cardinals. I'm actually the highest projection in the market by like 4 wins. I'm at 85.6, which is pretty close to their win total. But if you look at Fangraphs, they're at 77. Pacoda's at 81.3. Another projection at 80.7. So everybody's between around like 81 wins. You might.
A lot of that is assuming pitching regression, I assume, from some of their arms, which have been pretty lucky over the past couple of years.
Yeah, and I think it's really tough to factor in their team defense too. They've been one of the best defensive teams in baseball over the past few years. So I think the projection systems kind of undercuts them. Now, obviously, Arenado is one of the best defensive players in MLB, but they also lost Colton Wong, who's the best defensive second baseman in baseball. So that's really a wash. You're getting a slight improvement out of Arenado's bat, but the team doesn't really have anywhere to go but down in terms of defensive value. Now they have some terrific outfielders who can track down the ball, like Harrison Bader. O'Neill has really good metrics. Carlson has good metrics. So this team can really catch the ball, play good defense, save outs for their pitchers. But if anything, I'm looking to take an under on them. I don't think there's a ton of upside, and I would be really surprised if they got to 90 wins, even in a bad division. The Cubs absolutely could be sellers, probably will be. And yeah, that gives me some hesitancy with regards to the Cardinals, but I'd have to go back and as you mentioned, look at the lowest number that division winners have come in at, because it's possible now that we're getting outside of the bubble of these teams playing Central versus Central, East versus East, since the Cardinals are going to have to go up against a division that we'll talk about in a second, like the NL West, where I think there's 4 teams who are going to be vying to be 77 wins or better. These Central teams might get their ass kicked for the entire year. So yeah, maybe we see the Cardinals win the division, but finish with 84 or 85 wins. I think that's something that they've done recently, actually, is gotten to the playoffs and won the Central with fewer than 88 wins. So I think you nailed all 3 right there.